Scream 6 released this year to critical and financial success. I liked it, definitely better than a lot of entries in the series, and I'm actually looking forward to the inevitable Scream 7. But there's something that I kinda want in the series going forward. Spoilers, obviously. Like I said, I really like Scream 6. The core 4 are really enjoyable to watch, the new setting is a breath of fresh air, and the kills feel a lot more gruesome here. Even the killer reveal felt pretty satisfying, but after sitting on the movie for a while, I realized that said reveal made me feel some type of way in relation to the entire series. There was a theory going around that Matthew Lillard would come back as Stu, orchestrating a cult of ghost faces from prison, which is actually a real idea they considered for Scream 3. The entire Ghostface shrine room and the opening with Flash Thompson really had me thinking this theory would be true, but then we got another run-of-the-mill killer reveal. See, how these work in Scream is that it's usually someone with a connection to the main character or someone related to the in-universe stab movies, or sometimes both. In Scream 1, it's Sidney's boyfriend and his friend Billy and Stu. In Scream 2, it's Billy's mom and this guy. In Scream 3, it's Sidney's brother and director of the next Stab movie. In Scream 4, it's Sidney's cousin and Roman Roy Jr. In Scream 2022, it's two Stab superfans who both incorporated themselves into the sisters' lives, and in 6 is one of the superfans' family. One more thing that all of these killers have in common is that each of them are also introduced in the same movie they revealed as killer. As we go into the 7th installment, I really wish that we get something a bit different. Why not a pre-existing character? It's a little hard for a movie franchise built on the suspense of who's doing the killings in each movie if you know that the characters who made it past one appearance are always safe. Now I get it, that's a lot harder to do. A character who was a victim of a string of murders in a previous movie suddenly deciding to turn against their friends and become the next killer, that's a writing challenge. And audiences grow attached to said character, so seeing them make that shift would be polarizing to say the least. But honestly, I say there's even more reason to do it. We are 6 movies in, and it's clear that we've gotten the formula. The new batch of movies do a pretty good job at throwing a wrench in that formula with the character of Sam. Who's actually the daughter and granddaughter of 2 previous killers, yet she's a protagonist. Scream 2022, you know what, Scream 5 deals with her coming to terms with her connection to the murders because of her heritage, and it's the entire reason why Richie dated her. The Force Ghost stuff is pretty silly, but it shows us that she has a killer instinct. Scream 6 has her deal with the repercussions of that, everyone blaming her for the murders and people even going as far to attack her in real life over it. She even puts on the costume and the mask to kill Detective Bailey at the end, but leaves her on the ground basically saying that she's not like that. So although I'm currently talking about how the formula for this movie needs to change, are they actually going to go through with this in Scream 7? You see, the last 2 movies had these character posters with each character holding a knife or a mask to promote that it could be anyone, but no, it could be anyone that wasn't in the last movie. Actually, speaking of that, the only time this tactic really worked was Scream 4 and 5, where most of the cast are newcomers, so we can be genuinely surprised when it happens. But wouldn't it be far more interesting if it was one of the returning characters?
Everybody's a suspect!
Untrue. That's where we come back to Sam. Wouldn't it be interesting if Scream 7 had one of the legacy characters be the killer? Or even Sam being so suspect that the rest of the core 4 begin to doubt her? Or hell, just flat out make her the killer? Why not? It will make for an emotional story, as this will be our 3rd story getting to know these characters. Another plus I'll give the new movies is the cold open for 6. As far as I know, these movies haven't done a fake out like that, not counting 4. But when they revealed Tony Revolori so early, I thought we'd follow him throughout the movie and watch him interact with the rest of the cast while we anxiously wait for them to find out. Honestly, that would have been a pretty good deviation. Or if they did go with the cult idea, whether Stu's leading them or not. We're in New York, get freaky with it. I have no idea what that means, but you know, freaky with it, you know. Let's bring up an example of a horror movie that changed its formula, and while it didn't receive critical acclaim, I think it was a very good change of pace and is actually one of my favorite movies of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, Halloween Ends.
Okay.
Hear me out, hear me out. Halloween Ends was so different because it wasn't just Michael Myers returning and doing another killing spree. It was about this character, Corey Cunningham. We see him go through a traumatic event that he's blamed for, the toll that it had on him, and how the constant backlash from the town and manipulation from Michael Myers turned him into the main villain of the movie. I really like the way that this is not at all a traditional Halloween movie. It's a sick, twisted romance between Corey and Allison, Laurie Strode's granddaughter, and it's cheesy at points but also very genuine. You see everything that he goes through, including his life at home, so when he does snap, it makes sense. Then it ties nicely into the Michael Myers conclusion. Michael's pure evil and Corey is a man who was turned into that because of the town's need for a new Michael. Ah shit, I was supposed to be talking about Scream. What if we get this but with Sam, and instead of one movie it caps off this new trilogy? Sam's initial incident that led to everyone turning against her, the heat from everyone taking a toll on her, only grounded by her loved ones. And in the new movie you can show her going to rock bottom and end up becoming one of the ghost faces. But honestly, I don't know if that would be the route they take. This is a formula that works. It's gotten them 6 movies in, and no one's complaining so far. except for me. Besides, I just listed Halloween Ends as an example, and that movie was dragged by critics and general audiences, except for me. So I understand sticking to what they're good at, but wouldn't it be so much more interesting if they switched it up and gave us a hero turned villain, a legacy character, or even previous killer coming back to shake things up, or letting us know the killer in advance and watching the characters have to get to that conclusion themselves? I like this series, and if you're watching this, you probably do too. So let me know what you think down below and any ideas that they can do with the next entry in the series, and like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, where the fuck was Stab the Musical?
Eu disse olá por nosso amor, eu disse beijo.